be tonight. It could just be. 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 We don't have to last forever. It could just be tonight. We don't have to be together. It could just be tonight. It could just be. It could just be.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Season 11. We're here with Round 1. It's a brand new day for the Sim Racing Alliance. It's going to be a little bit more punishing out here during qualifying.
It's definitely a hard one here. It's what it's like. It's very, very punishing.
For all the way in Germany, this will be the first time we see this in the team series here. This is a track where you will be driving the track, not as much driving the drivers on the track.
Very brave is the Ferrari to get the move done.
He does get the position done.
Oh, huge contact, and they're both going to go around. It's going to be a huge move up the inside.
He's been using every bit of the track.
Pedal to the metal, foot to the floor.
And we're off and away for SRA.
Good evening, SRA Nation. It's your host, Big Daddy, here for the League in a Week Round 1. We're going to have two 20-minute races at Circuit Paul Ricard tonight. Gonna hop on board with Mr. Palmieri real quick. Get a little bit of free practice in, watching the drivers kind of get up to speed, come to terms with the track this evening. It's going to be the first two races of League in a Week series tonight. We'll have two more tomorrow night, two more the week or the night after. We'll be taking a day off for Thanksgiving here on Thursday, and we'll be finishing out this series on Friday and Saturday. Howdy, howdy there, Rob. This is, in fact, Big Daddy, your host for tonight's festivities. Looks like we have a little bit of cheering going on in the comments section here. Let's hop on board with Mr. Rushevich. Trying out a little bit different car. We're used to seeing him in the Mustang, but he's going to be driving the GTR for tonight's races. Let's see, who else can we find out here on track? Mr. Santana, the man who has probably been called for a ban more often than anyone else. See if he can have some good racing tonight. Love to see him do well. He's a fun guy to chat with. It's like Mr. Moffat coming out here onto the Mistral Straight. And diving off to the side, gonna go ahead and return to garage, it looks like. That is gonna be the end of free practice. We'll have qualifying coming up here shortly as the last few drivers filter in. Let's take a look at the track map for tonight's race. So we're here at the Circuit Paul Ricard. This is one of my favorite tracks here in ACC. Always promotes really good racing, though it does certainly favor a couple of certain cars. You do get the nice Mistral Straight with no chicanes in the middle of it. Perfect time for a nice little drink, kind of mentally reset if you had a little bit of a gaff in Sector 1. But sometimes it's just not quite enough of a break, and Sector 3 can still catch you off guard. A lot of decreasing radius corners, a little bit of a weird tempo to this track overall. Certainly, though, a fun one. Not a ton of elevation change, though. As we wait for the last handful of drivers to filter back in and finish up their practice sessions. Alright, it looks like Rushevich might be not quite the first out. We'll have Palmieri go out just in front of him, or maybe not. We'll find out. But not next time, we'll find out this time. Hey, there we go. RAF Cab getting in on the action here in the Lexus. Should be a relatively strong car here tonight, I believe. Ooh, Anton jumping back to his box. A little bit of shuffling around going on here. Let's see. We're going to have the lower half of the field, divisions 4, 5, and 6 drivers going out here at the 20-minute mark. They're starting to filter out on track now. And then Division 3 and above will start lining up here probably around the 11-minute mark. Let's see. Who can we hop on board with? 2-1. Thompson's out here. Driving a Lambo. Let's see. 2-8. Will be Kimball. Led out by 906 of Raf Cab, if I remember right. Where's he at? Here we go. The absolutely beautiful OBDA livery. Ooh, my apologies. A little bit of a goof up on my part there. A little too much talking on my end. No Rush 5 says that Doug on the mic. That is not Doug, or maybe it is, but it is Big Daddy. RetroVex just got done broadcasting a race themselves. Very nice. How was it? Was it a good time? Hopefully. We're seeing first cars come across the line to start their first hot laps. Starting with Ricard out here in the 906 Lexus. Let's see, he will be followed by the number 28 of Kimball, if I remember right. McLaren's another car that can be fairly strong here. Let's see, looks like he is... Oh, that is Colt. Kimball here in the 296. .296 can suffer a little bit on the straightaway here. Guy in the Bentley at the Enduro Series. For better or worse, that is certainly one way to know me. 47 cars in the Red Bull Ring in the wet. That is certainly a fun time. I'm imagining there's quite a lot of action in that one, RetroVex. We've got Bayham here coming down the Mistral Straight. Let's see if we can hop back in with Ricard real quick. Should be coming across the line shortly. Yep, here we go, right into the last turn. And this should be the first of the laps to come through. 57.8. That is not a bad lap time, though immediately followed up with a 56.6 from Kimball. Both of those certainly respectable times. Oh, Cloudy bringing in the bread. I hope you brought enough to share for the class. My personal favorite is marbled rye. How about y'all? See, a few more laps starting to filter in. A 57.1 from Zamora, a 58.6 from Bayham, 59.3 from Banks, Tinney with a 58.3. Let's see, 960 will be setting laps soon. Mr. Colt. Let's see what he puts together for us. Going a little wide there, it looks like. Not quite the ideal line. And he's going to come in with a 59 flat. Pretty good banker lap, and he certainly has some time that he can make up there in the final corner. Currently we have Kimball in the lead with a 56.6. Pretty good half-second gap to Zamora there in the 919 Audi. And then another 0.6 to Lombardo in the 256 McLaren. Raf still holding on to fourth. And Raf right up to provisional pole with a 56.5. That is a solid time for him. Love to see it from my fellow OBDA conglomerate mates. Just edging out Kimball for the moment, though. Let's see, is Kimball going to respond? It's going to be the big question here. So you've had a few more times filter in. D Blank currently sitting P12 with a 2:03.2. Parkinson in P11 with a 2-minute flat. Penkiewicz with a 58.9 in P8, bumping out Colt to P9. Had someone off there, looks like. Who would that be? Looks like maybe the 923 of Acosta. Looks like it. Got a Honda of, looks like Blank coming around right behind him. Up in his time a little bit with a 202 flat. Looks like Zamora still sitting at the 57.1, currently good for P3 on the grid. Obviously these are all subject to change a bit when the second group comes out for qualifying here in about 2 minutes. We're about to see Raf Cab come back around. Let's see what happens. Looks like he's about 4 seconds off of his best. Must have had a couple of bobbles that lap. Buckley, also in the Lexus, coming in with a 55.9. That is starting to get into some really spicy times here. Thompson coming in with a 56.2, just edging out Raf by a couple of tenths. Let's see, Lombardo up on his Delta by about half a second. He comes into this tricky complex here in Sector 3. Very easy to go wide and find yourself off track and out of limits with an invalid lap, which certainly adds to the stress as we get into the later part of qualifying session. These guys have about 1:15 left. So this will be, for most of them, their final lap. Final chance to improve. Madison getting in there with the V8 Aston with a 56.005. Just 13 thousandths off of Buckley. Let's see. Gilchrist's currently 8 tenths up. Seven and a half tenths, it looks like. Bam up 6 tenths as well. Got a group of these guys right here together. Ooh, is that Tenny, I think? Getting a little bit squirrely. May have just gone and invalidated there right at the end. No, that's not Tenny, because that is an Audi. That's Zamora. Looks like he just invalidated, unfortunately. That is going to be the end of the qualifying session for him. We'll round it out in P7. Nope. Times are still filtering in. Currently P8 for the group. The 57.1, certainly a respectable time. Though, I would imagine not quite what he was hoping for. Let's see the last few come across. 910 of Banks. Currently sitting P16 with a 58 flat. Doesn't look like he will be able to improve. Colt is in P13. Currently about a tenth up. Let's see if he can maybe pull that a little bit faster and slot himself in right above Bam. Looks like he might do it. Not quite. A 2.60 versus a 2.37. It's tough to see when it's just right there, but unfortunately, this is part of racing. It's just how it goes sometimes. Let's see. Lark coming out. I believe he should be heading back to pits. We need to keep an eye on that. Currently sitting P16 with a 57.9. Looks like we are going to be watching the first of this next group start their flying laps. Looks like Palmieri is leading the group out in the Lambo, followed by Velasquez. No, is BMW though. Let's see, the number 14 of Bailey Kish himself. The man, the myth, the legend, although maybe not as much of a myth. With the beautiful red, white, and black camo Bendy Brew livery. And I'm sure it's really meant to pay homage to the greatest Georgia Bulldogs. Palmieri and Kish coming out onto the Mistral Straight right now on their first flying laps. Let's see, they'll be followed by the 386 of Lasini Rivera. And the 909 of Mia Rose in the Honda NSX. I believe it's the first time seeing them in that. Used to seeing them in the McLaren 720 Evo. Let's see. Let's hop back over to Palmieri. He and Kish are coming into the final corner, getting ready to set times for their first flying laps. My apologies, they're just starting their first flying laps, looks like. Lambo looks very composed the first couple of corners. Jet. Looks like Jez is saying red, white, and brew in response to Bailey Kish's livery. Ooh, looks like Bailey might have just dipped a little wide. Curious to see whether or not that's actually the case. Kish, no, it looks like he's still valid, so should be in a good spot. Seeing the first few laps come through, it looks like Moffat sitting way up front with a 54.6. Is a majorly quick time. Coach Jeffries coming in here in the Aston V8, sitting just a couple tenths behind him in the 54.9, and he is coming onto the Mistral Straight about 2.5 tenths up on his current time, so he'll be looking for some good improvement. Have Colin Dunham in the 4.44.296, currently coming up on 4 tenths up on his fast time, half a second up. Currently sitting at a 55 flat. We'll be looking for a pretty strong improvement here. Be interesting to see if he can take this away from Moffat. And Palmieri comes in with a blistering 53.3. What an absolutely stellar time there. Mia Rose coming in with a 53.8. The NSX is a fun car. It's a little bit interesting to drive. Doesn't seem to love curbs too much. And it doesn't necessarily feel as fast as it might be. But Mia is certainly putting that car through its paces and making it proud. See Bailey Kish getting a time in with a 54.2. Currently sitting P4, coming onto the Mistral Straight. And let's see if we can check in with Pat Cockcroft. Currently sitting at 56.1. Good for P19. I'm sure he'll be looking to improve. Panzo out here with a 57 flat. Driving the McLaren 720. A little bit of a change for him. Pasta Man, very well known for driving the Lexus. He's currently half a second up, so he'll be looking at a mid 56 at the moment. Hoping he can keep that together because I like Panzo. Very nice guy to chat with. Let's see. Ryan Clark in the Bentley. Currently sitting at a 57.8. About a 10th improvement. Anton Rushevit. Not yet set a valid lap. But he is coming into the final turn. And he will be valid this time around. Let's see what he can put up on the board. 2 minutes left in qualifying. So most of these folks should get one more lap. 55.3, but it's looking like it didn't count it. He needs to keep it clean this time unless he wants to be starting from way at the back. Vasley's another one without a valid lap up yet. Same for Dan Cran and Jason Allen. Looks like he is planning to start from the way back. Palmieri currently sitting largely unchallenged here with his 53.3. Looks like he may have a slight improvement. Was sitting about a tenth and a half up. Looks like he went a little bit wide on that last corner, though. Let's see. Brandon Controller with a random team in the number 170 Honda was sitting about 3/10 up, and looks like he might have gotten through the fast right a little bit slow. Still looking at a little bit of an improvement, but not as much as he would probably like to see. Currently sitting at a 55.0, which is good for P10 provisional. Ian Byron sitting about half a second up. Also driving the McLaren. Could this be a sign for what we should expect to see in Season 13? Ian currently sitting at a 155.5. Looks like he might have gotten through that last corner a little bit slowly. That'll be the end of qualifying for him. And that'll signal the end of qualifying for everyone else. See if we might see a couple of improvements. Bailey Kish sitting in a dead heat with his current time in P5 provisional. Pat Cockcroft about half a second up. We'll take a quick intermission. All right, and that was qualifying for Paul Ricard for round one. We have Palmieri sitting on top with that 53.3. That is a spicy, spicy time in a purple Sector 1. Mia Rosa sitting in second in the Honda NSX, the first of two, followed by Fazli Majid. Joel Moffat in the number 64 Ferrari 296. Bailey Kish sitting in P5 in the number 14 BMW M4. Coach Michael Jeffries with a 54.2, which will be the last one within a full second of the leader in P6. Colin Dunham in P7. Brian Anderson in P8, Guy Manperson in P9, and Adam Santana in P10. Or Mustang. All right, as we count down for the start of the formation lap, we're about 1 minute and 20 seconds out. Have a pretty good mix through the field out here. Lambo on pole, couple of Hondas, couple of 296s, BMWs. Only one Ford, though. It looks like in the entire field. Only one Ford of Brian Anderson. Let's see. Anton Rushevich, I saw a couple of people cheering for him. He is currently going to be starting P15, or he will be starting P15 in the Nissan GTR. Be happy to be in the top third of the field. Certainly frees him up from a little bit of the shenanigans that can sometimes ensue. Paul Ricard race starts tend to be a little bit hectic just because the track encourages so much side by side. And it's very tempting to make it not only 3 but 4, and every now and then you'll see 5 wide. But I believe all eyes will be on Palmieri for looks to be short formation lap for tonight's races. It is. Looks like he gets a good jump and he will pull away a little bit from Mia Rose and Fazli Majid. Though Mia looks like they're going to claw their way back. Clean start up in the very front. Let's hop a little bit further back. And it looks like we have had a clean start, which is always a beautiful thing to see. Oh, spoke a little bit too soon. We cut over and see Palmieri getting spun. Oh, and hit again and knocked again, but he got knocked the right way around at least. Oh, a little bit more contact. Easy there, buddy. Can't be hip checking everyone. Well, aside from the punting of Palmieri, it looks like we've had a largely, though not completely unfortunately, clean start. Those Lexuses are just storming away. I'm sure Palmieri has a little bit of aero damage as he takes out the brake markers. That will not be the ideal thing to see. We're going to check in with Bailey Kish up here in the front end of the field. A little bit of battling with Dunham as he tries to make his way past. I'm sure he'll be trying to reclaim that position. Looks like he goes for a move here. Coming around the outside through the second to last corner. It sets him up nicely for the inside line here. A little bit of bumping. A little bit of bashing, but he will take that position. And Coach Jeffries here waiting in the wings. He's got a good run on Dunham. See if he will be able to make anything happen. Not quite yet, it looks like, but looks like we have a little bit. Action a little further back here. Guy Manperson right on Brian Anderson. Controller looking a little antsy back there, gonna maybe try and make a move. The Mustang just has so much straight line speed. It's a tough one to race against. And it looks like Anderson may be able to catch a draft. I don't know that he's going to be able to pull himself really right up to Jeffries as we see Dunham go for a move on Kish. Get that position back from him. How will Kish be able to respond? Tight battle up here in the first few positions. Fasley about a second off of Mia. Joel about 2 seconds off of Fasley. Certainly this does look to be a dominant performance for the Honda drivers this evening. Oh, Bailey having a look inside, but not able to quite put together a move. Not yet anyways. And of course Dunham right in front of them. Sure, he loves to see these two fighting. Gives him a little breathing room. Although perhaps not too much. We have some close battling back here with Guy Manperson and Brian Anderson. Controller still looking to stick his nose in any opportunity he gets. See some close racing with Tenney and Lombardo a little further back in the field. Looks like Lombardo making the move happen on Tenney. It looks like Colt may even be able to profit a little bit from this as well. Though it looks like they're in a dead heat coming down the Mistral Straight. That 296 getting a lovely pull of Brian Banks. Sitting in that slipstream right there. It's going to do him plenty of good. Does look like Tenney will be able to hold off Colt for the time being as Bayham closes right up on Banks. We're going to hop back up here as we have some even tighter somehow battling between Manperson, Jeffries, and Controller. Jeffries moving on up. Although Manperson is certainly not going to make it easy for him. He's going to hold the inside line into turn 1. But he is going to yield that. He's going to slip right behind turn 2 and going into 3-4. Controller. He's thinking about it. He's thinking about it. But he's not quite close enough to make the strike happen yet. Got Velasquez right here with Robinson. Velasquez in the M4 and Robinson in the McLaren. Followed very closely by Ian Byron in the green McLaren. What I don't know offhand is how are the McLarens going to stand up against the BMW here on the Mistral Straight. 296 closing in as well. Ooh, getting a big draft for the 296 of Movo. Really closing this up into a four-way battle. Ian's going to hold it wide, leave the room just in case. And Movo's going to stick it right up the inside. Looks like he is going to be able to take the position from Ian. As we continue to watch, Robinson and Velasquez fight each other. Robinson going to back out just a little bit. Yield the space, keep each other alive. As Velasquez goes a little wide, he is trying to make that BMW as wide as he possibly can. Oh, and Movo is going to try and put a move on Robinson here. Doesn't look like he's quite able to make it stick. We've got another battle going on with Buckley and Blasini Rivera just behind them. Oh, there's too much action to even pick one battle. Oh, but that is going to be Buckley on Rivera, and Cockcroft is looking to stick his nose in as well. Kish and Dunham still battling. Plenty of door-to-door action to be had here in League in a Week Round 1. And of course, as soon as we wrap up this 20-minute race, we'll be running it back for another 20-minute race. Looks like Kish is going to stay ahead for right now, and that is going to let Anderson close up as well. A massive straight line performance of that Mustang. Really working to his advantage. He's making sure to take every little bit of it that he can. Bailey looking like he might actually end up losing 2 positions here. He does have the inside line, which could help him out. And Anderson's going to back out, yield the space, keep everyone alive. Good man. But these two are still fighting it out. Meanwhile, up in the very front, Mia Rose has completely checked out. She has they have about a 3-second lead over Fazli Majid in P2. Another 5 seconds over Moffat in P3. So the Honda's continuing to dominate tonight at Circuit Paul Ricard. And still plenty of tight battling all around. Looks like Buckley may have slipped back. Cockcroft got around him, and Blasini got around him. And we see Raf Cab there sitting in P20. With the Crayon Man in the Lambo. Going to be looking at a Lexus on Lexus battle here with Rav Cab and Stefan Buckley. And the number 16 Lambo of Dan Cran is going to be looking to stick his nose in here shortly. About 10 minutes left remaining in the race. So we check back in with Kish and Anderson. Dunham has managed to open up a little bit of a gap, still a little bit less than a second. Currently sitting at about 8/10 over Kish. Anderson closing right on up. He may be able to stick it right up the inside and make a move here. Bailey's going to leave the room, keep everyone safe, which we love to see here in SRA. We love to see everyone make it to the very end, and we would love to see races with very minimal contact. There's some close racing with Martin Smith and Adam Santana. Smith just getting around Santana. And continuing with this really fantastic midfield battle here between Raff, Cockcroft, and Buckley. Looks like Zamora and Lombardo are having a little bit of a spat. Jason Allen closing in rapidly. on Banks, it looks like. It's a big winner. He elected to start from the rear of the pack this evening, and he has clawed his way up to P26. Stellar drive for Jason. We are going to cut away from him as we look at a great battle with Curtis Lee and Mr. Sir. Mr. Sir making relatively short work of Curtis Lee's AMG, it looks like. Sir certainly being rockstar of a driver. It looks like he's going to try and make pretty short work of Clark as well. Next up on Mr. Sir's agenda is going to be Michael Jeffries, who appears to have had a little bit of an incident. A 216 last time around. And Colin Dunham. Looks like he may have had a small mistake. He has fallen back with Brian Anderson. They're still not too far away from Kish. Guy Manperson is making his presence known as well. It's going to turn into a great three-way battle, I think. Ooh, and Stefan Buckley with the drive-through in P16. Going to assume that's for track limits. Track limits here at Paul Ricard are always a tough one, because there's not you're running out onto asphalt, you're not running out onto grass, so it's not a super high risk. You're not going to really lose control of the car. Makes those limits very inviting, and as soon as you try to test them, they'll come back to bite you. Looks like Dunham going to get a really good run here on Anderson. A little bit of bumping, a little bit of banging, and that's going to let Controller also stick his nose in here. And it looks like we must have had something happen to Fazli Majid sitting in the pits, leaving Kish and Moffat to fight for third. But I'm so hesitant to clip away from this because this is just getting so good. Ooh. It's a little bit of a dart over for Anderson. Manperson going to stick his nose up the inside. This is going to put him onto the outside line here. He's going to try and hold it, though. That is going to let Dunham get away. Rushevich, sitting right back there in P7, has clawed his way up a few spots. And he is going to be looking, he's gotten around Controller, and he's going to be looking to capitalize on any small mistakes from Manperson and Anderson. And of course, that GTR is strong in a straight line, which really helps it here around Paul Ricard. Ooh. A little bit of a late braking from Manperson. Controller's looking to make a move and retake his position from Rushevich. Not quite going to be able to make it happen. Manperson drops back just a little bit. We'll be looking to close that back up shortly. Bailey has gone around Moffat and just left him completely, looks like. He's got more than a second over Moffat in P3, so Bailey is now sitting P2. Jason Allen has moved up a couple more spots. He's going to be looking to make a move on Robinson and Zamora very shortly. He's got 3 minutes and 15 seconds left to do it in this first race. And Robinson going to be looking to make a move on Zamora before that. pulls up alongside here on the Mistral Straight. It'll give him the inside line into the fast right. Jason Allen's going to close right up. Certainly well within striking distance, as he looks to pick up every last position he can in his march towards the front. Looks like he may go for a move into either T-last or T1. Jason Allen, of course, driving the 296 Ferrari, trying to make his way around the Audi of Zamora. We've got some close racing a little further forward with Bayan, Rivera, and Dan Cran looking to make his presence known as well. A couple of drive-thrus filtering in. Oh no, not for Ian Byron. Oh, this is terrible for the program. This is the opposite of the programming that I would love to be showing you all. Could not have happened to a nicer fellow. Jason Allen looking to make the move on Zamora here this time around. He gets alongside him, he'll have the inside line, and I expect he will be making this move happen this time around. Zamora trying to move over, hold him tight on the inside, but there's nothing he can do to rattle Jason Allen. You see Dan Cran trying to make a move here on Lassini Rivera after he has dispatched Ian Byron already. The Iron Dames Lamborghini. As they come up the start-finish straight, Byron going to duck into the pits, go ahead and serve his drive-through. Movo sitting just a couple positions up, also with a drive-through, unfortunately. Oh, and contact between Cran and Rivera. Oh no, right there going into T1. Oh, you hate to see it. Cran just riding along the borders of the track. Wouldn't think he picked up too much damage, although he could have overheated the tires. We are looking at a hot race tonight, 30 degrees centigrade ambient, 38 on track. Let's see, we do have a car stopped in T-last. That is Richard Mack, P41. Looks like he is getting going again, though. Still some great racing to be had here. As Jason Allen finds himself off in the paint in the outside limits of the track, and again out on the far outside limits. A little bit of a bump from this Lambo of Palmieri, looks like, as Jason tries to find his way around here in the last lap. Does not look like he will be able to make it happen in P21. Looks like it may be as high as he's able to reach. Palmieri fighting back. These two, I believe, have seen each other on track more often than they perhaps would have liked in the team series. And a little love tap from Palmieri. that is going to wrap up race 1. Going to have Mia Rose P1, Bailey Kish P2, which is fantastic to see. Moffat P3, Dunham P4. Anderson P5, Manperson 6, Controller 7th. Rushevich climbed his way up to P8 from, I believe, 15th or 16th. As we close out the first race of tonight, have the last couple of cars to cross the line of O'Leary and Acosta in P39 and P40 respectively. Not too far apart on track, but not too close either. And that'll draw us to the close of the first race of tonight. Again, podium is going to start with Mia Rose in P1 with a commanding lead, followed up by Bailey Kish and Joel Moffat in P2 and 3. Dunham and Anderson P4 and 5. Paulie 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah, who are you reading for tonight, bud? Anderson and Manperson P5 and 6. Controller 7th. Rushevich 8th. Smith 9th. Velasquez 10th. Rooting for Dunham. Well, your boy did well. Didn't quite make the podium, but certainly up there and certainly giving them a run for their money. Coming in P4. The biggest gain tonight in the first race, though, I think has to go to Jason Allen. Falling up from, I believe, P46, 45, somewhere in that range, all the way up to P21. Although P19 showing on the official. P20 showing on the official. We wait for the second race to start and the cars to grid up. No Rush calling in with Jalen. I assume you're rooting for him tonight, bud? Don't think we can let him know that, though. It might go to his head. All right, and the cars are gridding up now for the second race of tonight. We will be recycling the qualifying results. He's been training with Piccolo. Interesting. Prime is at Jover. The first race is. Second race is not. Second race, in fact, is not only not Jover, it is yet to even begin. Here collecting bread and bumping up the numbers. And you know what? We love you for tuning in, buddy. Now that we've got cars on grid, we'll go ahead and transition over. Take a look. Jason Allen going to be starting P43. We'll see how far he can climb up in the second race. Hopefully we'll have as clean of a start as we did the first time around. We're going to run it back. Similar track conditions, 30, 37 for temperatures. Be another 20-minute race this evening. Magnificent 101 Live. Yes, perfect timing indeed. You will be able to catch the entirety of the second race. We are doing a short formation lap, so don't dip anywhere. We have about 20 seconds till the pace car pulls away. What we will be hoping to see, though, is Palmieri keeping it clean the first lap. No contact. Would love to see no contact throughout the entirety of the field. Obviously, Paul Ricard is a track that encourages very close racing, and unfortunately, often a little bit of bumping and banging. While it makes for drama, unfortunately, the drama can be a little frustrating at times. For a helicam start here. Palmieri pulling off to the side. Mia Rose sitting off in the back. Looks like Joel Moffat may lead us in. And all right, restarted the session. I don't know what happened there. I'm wondering if it may have been due to Palmieri pulling off to the side. The game just decided that it wanted to not trigger until he was lined up where it intended for him to be. I'll have my people throw the tacks in front of Jason's tires. Oh, come on, Paulie. Can I get a restart? You know what? That would be the first time it's been honored. At least that I've seen. Might clear 20K bread this week for Prime. That'll be big. I'm sure you'll make great use of that in our Season 13 livery reveal stream. Hopefully we won't see a second restart for race 2 this evening. I do want to take... Yes, I know, Coach Jeffries, I do need to sync the liveries. But hey, in my defense, no one's ever called me competent. Pace car will be pulling away here in about 10 seconds. I do want to take a moment just to thank everyone who's tuned into the stream this evening. Appreciate you all being here and hope y'all are having a great time. As cars pull away, Palmieri sitting there for just a second, but it looks like he's going to join in. Hop back up to the front. I'm confident there you can't use that defense again. Well, thank you very much, Magnificent. It's greatly appreciated. I feel the love. And the lights go green and we all pull away. Very close battle right up front between Fazley, Mia, and Jacob. Cones flying. The two Hondas go wide. And it looks like we're going to get away partly clean. Looks like maybe a little bumping and banging off here in the back. Tune back into the front where Palmieri is already starting a dominant checkout process. 910 drive-through speeding on start. Oh no. 910 is going to be Banks in the 296. Thank you for catching that, Paulie. Close battle here between Kish, Dunham, and Jeffries. As we see some additional cones flying. Plenty of close battling going on back here as we see Blasini, Rivera, and Cockcroft finding each other on track yet again. Going side by side here into this third sector. Honda's Alta Ford certainly does appear that way. Looking forward to some close racing from all these folks again. It looks like we are going to see some good racing already from Velasquez, Robinson, and Madison, at least early. As Movo and Buckley are side by side, as well as Cab and Rodriguez. Lexus, a very strong car here on the straights. They're going to close right up on each other as Jeffries finds himself getting hounded by Manperson and Anderson. Manperson staying right in the coach's mirror, but not quite close enough to make a firm move yet. Could see Blasini Rivera close up on Madison here coming down the straight. And we in fact are going to see that. In fact, we're going to see actually, looks like a full clean overtake. It's a little surprising to see. It looks like he might even try to have a quick look at Velasquez. Ovo and Cockcroft battling together right behind. And we're seeing a side-by-side with Byron and Robinson, two McLaren drivers. Battles all around as Manperson closes right up on Jeffries. Vucevic already climbed up to P10 from, I believe, P15. And some close fighting from controller Mia, Cran, and Clark. Back here around the P30 mark. Controller backing out a little bit. Cran trying to find his way around O'Leary as quickly as he can, using every little bit of the asphalt that is here at Paul Ricard. And find his way around quickly, and so is Mia. Going to be looking to get around Dan as well. Check back in with the front up here. We've got Moffat followed very closely by Dunham and Kish. Looking like a lot like a repeat of last race, just with a different leader. As Palmieri has checked out and already made about a 5-second gap over P2. The man is on absolute rails with a 53.8 last time around. Current fastest lap of the race. Moffat, Dunham, and Kish only able to muster mid-54s, which feels really gross saying only to those times. In fact, it looks like we may even see Dunham try to make a move on Moffat here. They pull away and put a little bit of a gap onto Kish, still about half a second. And it looks like Dunham is going to try to outbrake Moffat. He is going to be on the outside here. We'll see if he can stick it. He is going to make a stick, a tiny little love tap from Bailey onto Moffat. And it looks like Bailey's going to get around him as well. Moffat losing positions and losing positions. So not a good scene for him. He's got to get it together. Oh, I spoke a little too soon. A little bit of a bump from Jeffries. And that is going to let Manperson and Brian Anderson through. Jeffries is going to find himself off track as he elects not to take advantage from that. Very sportsmanlike of him. But that is going to cost him several positions as Smith, Rushevich, Santana, Robinson all get around him. See how he's able to recover. Currently sitting P11. We will keep an eye on him. Byron out running by himself a little bit now. He's got about 8/10 over Velasquez and Vicini Rivera. We're watching Velasquez try to fight back. He's not quite going to get it. And this might even open the door for Madison to stick his nose in. These three found each other last race. It looks like they found each other again this race. Close running, 12.5 minutes remaining. As we glance a little further back, we'll take a look at Buckley, Rodriguez, and Mr. Sir. 2 Lexuses and a McLaren. As they come onto the start-finish straight, Lexuses should have an advantage here. And just a little further back, we can see Cran and Rose are still fighting each other, still making their way through the pack. And it looks like Dan is going to make the move on Kimball. Looks like Mia's going to get through as well. But Mia hanging back doesn't look like they're going to force the issue on Dan yet. Let's see, where can we find Jason Allen, currently sitting P29. A close battle. Still trying to get around O'Leary. I say still, that was Dan that I was thinking of earlier. My apologies. O'Leary's going to hang wide, not put up too much of a fight. I expect Jason was able to close on him relatively quickly. He elected not to try and make a messy situation. Mia right on top of Dan now. But doesn't look like the Honda has quite gotten the top end, even with the slipstream. Although Dan's going to go wide. He is going to catch a little bit of a groove in the track, spit out to the inside, and lose about a car length. Dan's going to stay in front for the time being. We'll keep an eye on that one. Looks like Sir has gotten around Rodriguez and is going to try to start making a move on Buckley here momentarily. Rodriguez is going to stick his nose back in, but he's on the outside. There's not much he can do at the moment. See a drive-through for number 909 for track limit violation, which is Mia Rose. Oh, that is tragic. You hate to see that. He's fought up from near the back of the pack after starting in the front. Went a little wide through turn 1 and let the field go through before rejoining in a very safe manner. But unfortunately, those track limit violations have caught up. We'll have to serve a drive-through penalty. Jason Allen also with the drive-through. Oh, the race is falling apart. This is not good. Palmieri continues to check out with an 8, almost 9 second gap, about 8 second gap. Kish about half a second off of Dunham, sitting in P3. Take a look just a touch further back, and we are seeing Rushevich on Smith. Smith trying to fight back. And a little train of cars coming through. Looks like Cassini Rivera's gotten around Ian Byron. Jeffries is still sitting P11. He's not yet managed to make up these positions. Let's see, Kimball, looks like Buckley is off to the side of the track. Not sure what happened there exactly. Looks like controller's trying to make a move on Robichaud. With Mia waiting in the wings. Field starts to spread out just a little bit, although we certainly still have plenty of battling going on. And check back in up front with Kish and Dunham. Kish right there, ready to capitalize on any small mistakes he sees. It looks like he's going to get a good drive, but he won't quite be able to capitalize right there. Not yet, not yet. Palmieri hit a banana peel, please. The man is currently showing 8.2 seconds up. I have a feeling we'll see that grow to around 9 here at the end of the lap. Normally, Polly, I'd say I agree with you, and there is a part of me that does. But he certainly had his share of troubles and trials and tribulations last race. I think we can grant him a little bit of courtesy here. Hey, magnificent. Thank you for the subscription, buddy. Appreciate it. See Bailey try to make a move on the outside, but not quite going to make it happen. Dunham's going to hold him off for the time being. As we see a close battle back a little further with Santana and Jeffries. Jeffries looking to make up some positions, get back into the top 10. Currently sitting P11. He's able to close the gap. We'll have to see if he's able to make it stick. Looks like Mia is currently electing to serve the drive-through penalty. Dunham and Kish still fighting. Kish holding about 3/4 tenths off, and Kish gets around Dunham. As Dunham looks like he has gotten spun in some way, shape, or form. Kish now about 7 seconds off of Palmieri, a couple seconds in front of Guy Manperson. Looks like Dunham has returned to garage. Wonder if he may be calling the race for tonight. 4.5 minutes remaining. As we watch Vucevic go for a pass on. Off at. He's going to back out not try to force the issue quite yet. We have 4 minutes remaining. He still has a little bit of time, but he does need to buckle down and make that move if he wants it. Currently, Rusevic sitting in P6, which is a great improvement for him, starting around P16. Anderson still sitting in P4 behind Manperson, but just under a second off. Not close enough to do anything with it quite yet, though he is closing in. Vucevic doesn't look like he's quite close enough to catch much of a draft. And it looks like the Dunham retirement is going to put Jeffries up into P10. Velasquez with a drive-through, presumably for track limits. That is not something you want to see. But just as in the last race, Paul Ricard is a tough one on limits. They're so inviting to push, but unfortunately they will bite you. Keeping an eye on this three-way battle here between Jeffries, Rivera, and Santana. Santana being the lead car, Jeffries in the second, and Rivera in the McLaren third car on screen here. He's going to go for a big lunge here on Jeffries, but it doesn't look like he's going to be able to quite make it stick. Jeffries going to hold on to the inside. It does look like Rivera may get a little bit of a run, but not quite able to make the move yet. That is going to let Velasquez close up, though. Velasquez, of course, still needs to serve that drive-through penalty, or he will face a time penalty at the end of the race. As Rivera gets around Jeffries. Jeffries, unfortunately, may even be looking at losing another position here to Velasquez. Oh, contact, and that is going to... he's going to save it, though. Ooh, as Matissey dives outside to miss him. Velasquez is going to pull off to the side of the track. But that is going to bump Jeffries down a couple more positions, down to P14. Not what we love to see. Gonna check back in with Moffat, who has Robinson and Rusevic trailing with 40 seconds left. This will be the final lap, I believe. Magnificent, you're absolutely right. That was a very clean drift from Coach. Very well held together. Unfortunate that it happened, though, as Santana in P9 picks up a drive-through for track limit violations. Controller and Kimball look like they're having a close little spat here. Looks like Controller just got around. Looks like Controller is able to break away from Kimball a bit. Byron and Sir are battling. And Sir is going to have a pretty notable advantage here down here on the Mistral Straight. See if Byron is able to respond in any way, shape, or form, or if he will have to cede this position here on the final lap. How y'all gonna do my man's coach like that? He saved the clean drift, though. But it is unfortunate to see. You know, maybe if we were running 3 races tonight, so he'd have that third stint in the car. Might have to look at that for future League in a Week series. Byron drops back behind Sir, and Madison looks like he may try to have a cheeky look here. Going to the last couple of corners. Don't know that he's going to be close enough to make anything really stick. Does not look like he'll be able to. Couple of battles still going on. A little further back, Jason Allen in P31. Trying to see if he can get around McSweezerson here in the closing moments of the race. He's going to make the move. He is holding him tight, and he is going to make that pass stick and open up that gap a little bit to claw back to P30. After Hours Grudge Race. You know what? I ain't opposed to it. All right, and that will... Let's see, let's check in with Colt. It looks like the rest of these folks, aside from a battle with Caleb Tenney and Acosta, as Acosta goes wide. Tenney's going to make up a position on the final spot. Final turn. And that will close out the racing for tonight's festivities. All right. Let's see if we might be able to pull someone in here. Do-do-do. Jacob Palmieri, this is Big Daddy here. How are you doing this evening? Doing awesome. So we saw the first race was a little bit...
Super fun.
Yeah, not the ideal situation, I don't think. But
Yeah.
Second race certainly went quite a bit better. You were able to check out and build a pretty convincing lead, even just in the first couple of corners. Walk us through that. How did that... Let's walk us through both races, if you don't mind.
I think it was just a bad physics collision. The first race, it wasn't anything malicious. Stuff happens, and then unfortunately, I messed up the start because I think I went back too late. I didn't realize that everybody had left me behind, so it was just me up there. Wasn't really much to do.
Gotcha. Second race certainly went a lot better. You're able to check out early. Any secrets to that? You were running some absolutely blistering times there.
Well, that and everybody else behind me went back to the back of the pack. That helped.
Yep, fair enough. Well, I know race 1 didn't go as well, but race 2 certainly a convincing lead. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And what are we looking forward to as we move into these races 3 and 4 of League in a Week?
Just come and have fun. It's always the goal. League in a Week.
Absolutely. Well, hey, thank you for popping in with me. And
Yeah.
thanks for coming out and racing this evening. I'll pop you back over into race chat.
Thank you, everyone.
Absolutely. Thank you. All right, and that was our winner of race 2, Jacob Palmieri. Let us see if there's anyone else we can pull. Who do we want to talk to, y'all? Do you want to talk to Coach Jeffries? Get his take on the evening's events? All right, with that, I think we'll be closing this one out for the evening, folks. Thank you all for tuning in. It's great having you and great hosting. Saw some fun racing tonight, and if you have not checked out SRA, please do so, simracingalliance.com, also sra.gg. And we hope to see you here. Cheers, y'all.